People move from East Coast to West Coast all the time, but they never talk about the real differences. People try and compare New York, LA, but they're completely different worlds. I've had New York versus LA on my mind all day, so much so that I knew I needed to come on here and talk about it. I want to keep these vlogs going, and I know that the only way that's going to happen is if when I get the idea to run to the camera and just riff, just spit. Because if I try to make the perfect vlog with the best B-roll all the time, it's just not. I have too many other things I need to do, too many other things going on for me to do that. So when I get the ideas, I'm coming on here. And today what's been heavy on my mind is New York versus LA. In my opinion, New York and LA are the only real cities in America. I know that will offend a bunch of people. Mind you, I was born in San Francisco, a major city, but nothing really hits quite like New York and LA. Okay, these are two cities that they really affect the country as a whole, the economy. These are two cities that affect the world. New York is where the stock market is, and that time zone is pretty much the time zone that the world runs on. So I've been in LA now for a month and a half, and I have a pretty ideal living situation at the moment, which is what's mostly keeping me here. I'm in the downtown LA area. It's I would say one of the closer things to New York, being outside of New York. It's very grimy, a big homeless population, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to talk about LA as a whole, and how it differs from New York. So I lived in New York for 11 years. I've been here a month and a half, but mind you, I lived here before in my early 20s. So I'm not just talking off 1 month's experience. I'm talking about a couple of years of experience. And first things first is the cost of living, right? So like New York is one of the most expensive cities in the world. Like what you get out there in terms of rent, for what you pay is horrific, bro. It's absolutely terrible. You get a lot more in LA. In fact, I saw a studio today for $1,300. It's like 600-700 square feet. You just don't see a studio for $1,300 in New York anymore. That being said, you do need a car here. People have been asking me, do you need a car to live in LA? Because I'm downtown, I've been able to get away with not having one, but only for so long. You definitely need a car in LA, because if you don't have one, you're cheating yourself of so many activities and opportunities. Because I can do all the things that are local to me: gym, groceries, shopping, and even jiu-jitsu. I got to take a bus to jiu-jitsu, but when it comes to like functions, parties, the beach, got to get that car, got to get up out of downtown. So if you don't have a car here, you're really cheating yourself, and eventually it's just not going to work. Like, you're going to need a car for work. So I bring that up because, yes, rent is significantly cheaper here, but then you also need a car. So in a way, you can kind of factor that in. But even then, New York rent is way more expensive. I did the math. I crunched the numbers. If you have a basic car out here, you can still, car and rent is still going to be cheaper than what you pay for in New York. Okay, so cost of living definitely more affordable here. But then we have culture, right? And culture. Everyone's going to have their own opinion about this. Everyone's going to have their own opinion about culture because people's experiences vary. And what one person is going to experience in this city, like, for example, what an artist is going to experience here is going to be different from like a finance worker or a someone who's not a creative, right? So in terms of culture, this is a big one because this is trying to fit a city into a nutshell, but it's not that easy. I feel like New York's culture, without a doubt, is so much better. How do you even begin to explain New York's culture? In one word, I'd have to just say that New York is magic, because it is. It has a charm that, even despite the long winters and the noise and the chaos, right? We've all had that moment in New York, whether it be the first day of spring or like the middle of summer, where you might be walking down the street and the fire hydrant's just like bursted, kids playing, or you're on the train during sunset. Like, you just know, like, there's something magical about New York. You don't really, I don't really get that feeling here so much. There have been moments where I'm like, wow, I'm really here and like this is epic, but for the most part, Los Angeles feels like it lacks a soul. Los Angeles feels like it's not a real place. It's not like a home for real, because it's mad cities pushed into one big city. So it's like, and it's not even like boroughs. Like, the boroughs are very distinct, and you can tell, like, what borough you're in almost immediately. It's not like that in LA. It's just like cities. It's like towns, like little towns smushed together to make one big ass city. And it just feels like New York is the only real city for real. If you only have LA and New York's the only real city. People say that people in LA are fake. I would argue that people can be fake anywhere. Even in New York, you have people that'll get dressed in the costumes to walk down Broadway in Soho so that they can get photographed or stopped. Someone will stop and be like, "Hey, so what are you wearing?" So people are fake everywhere is what I'm trying to say. That's my point. One of the major things that you'll notice here in Los Angeles is that within moments of meeting somebody, in the first like 5 questions, somebody will ask you, "What do you do?" And at first I was a little annoyed by that. Like, I was like, man, people are so phony. Like, they just want to know what do I do so they can, but really what I'm coming to realize is that they're trying to see what you do. Therefore, they're trying to see how do they fit in your ecosystem. How can they maybe collaborate with you? Some people will ask you that to try to size you up. True, again, there's fake people everywhere, but that's not, I feel like, what the majority of people are trying to do. They're trying to gauge how can we collaborate. In New York, I don't know, I just didn't really feel it that much there. You know what I mean? Like, what I feel in New York, I feel like people, we're so close together that you're almost like forced to make friends with people. In New York, I find myself like trying to get my own space most of the time. Like, in New York, for me, a big thing is like, what is my bedroom like? Because I'm gonna be spending a lot of my personal rest time there. As soon as you go out the door in New York, there's people, trains, people. It's just like I'm the fact I'm able to vlog this in a space is incredible. Like, I don't think I'd be able to go outside in New York and have like private space unless I had a backyard or something. You know what I mean? There's a lot less space in NYC, and that was starting to take its toll on mostly my mental, but like overall health and well-being. I just felt like I didn't have space, and it was driving me nuts. I felt like I needed me some space, bro. Like, can I just be alone for 1 minute? It's very difficult in New York. Think about it. In New York, go and try to take a private phone call that you don't want anybody to listen in on. It's very difficult in New York, because you probably have a roommate, because you probably have mad neighbors, because there's probably mad people wherever you live. So, mad people in New York, very little space. LA has much more space, but the people aren't as like, it doesn't hit quite the same, It's like, I also don't like the like the character here, like it's just very like, I'm a lot. This is all coming from the POV of an artist. Like, it's just LA don't really have a lot of swag, bro. Like, the artists here, I don't think, are very cool. Like, New York definitely takes the cake with like real actual good artists. LA artists might have more popularity, they might be more pop, but they're not as like creative and soulful. So you see where I'm going with all of this? It's like one city has mad flavor and soul, has my heart. The other one is kind of like void and feels somewhat like despair. But also it's a good vacation here. Like it's a health city. It's a health conscious city for sure. A lot of hiking, a lot of smoothies, a lot of sunshine. It's definitely a place to like come and get your health right. The food, that's one thing LA takes the cake on is the food, the produce. I just had an avocado right now that like New York can never, bro. Sorry. The avocados are coming from Mexico. They probably freeze them by the time anything gets to New York. It's just not fresh anymore. There's not really like fresh produce in New York. It's very much like a grid city. So, yeah, man, I find myself being pulled back to the East Coast. I don't know if that's because I truly want to be there or because that's where I built my foundation. It's like I'm getting older and I'm realizing that these things take time to foundations and families and friendships take time. And like when I was younger, I would bounce from city to city because I didn't really care about like I didn't mind just getting up and going when I was young, when I was 25. It was nothing, right? I'll make new friends. The same is still true. Like, yes, I can come here and make a whole new set of friends, but like as you get older, I think you realize these things are a little more tiresome and like it takes years to develop these things. So I could start over here and like it would take a lot of effort. And then it's like, again, the culture piece, like, is this where I want to be rooted? You know, and that's a big, you don't want to spend 5-10 years somewhere that you realize later this is not where you wanted to have roots. Like I don't regret New York at all. I'm so happy. That was the best move that I ever made. Up until that point, that was the best move that I had ever made, was move there. So it has a big part of me. And I'm just struggling, man. I'm struggling to really decide where to be. I'm hoping that God will provide the answer. I'm sure he will. But I also feel like I need to hurry and make a decision. Like this sublease is not going to be here forever. If I'm going to get back to New York, I got to find a place. So I got to get active, you know what I mean? It's very difficult. This is a very difficult, trying time. I know I keep I don't, I'm not going to go on social and like act stressed or whatever. And I'm not stressed, but it's just like, it's a big turning point. Like, am I going to stay or am I going to go? And I don't really know. And it's like, both could potentially work, maybe. But I just feel right now like New York is the move. But also I'm like low-key tired of living that way. Does that make sense? Like, I love that place, but also for me, everyone has their own opinion. For me, the quality of life there is no good, bro. Like, I feel like we live real tired out there. I was stretching myself real thin, spreading myself thin. Man, decisions, life. Yeah, I still don't have a car. It's been a month and a half, no car. It's been decent, but every time I hop on that bus, I'm like, oh, I need a car for real, you know? And yeah, New York, you simply don't need a car, but in New York, you also need to escape, bruh. This is what I'm saying. Pros and cons, ladies, pros and cons. Towards the end there, the cons of New York were just like doing me in for real. Like, I wasn't feeling rested at all. You know, I feel very rested here. I feel very healthy. I've been able to gain some weight and like sleep well. It's been a good move for my health. And it's like, do I stay here and keep being healthier, or do I go back to like what I know and grind and work hard again? Yeah. How ideal would it be to be there and there, do this and that instead of or this or that. So just wanted to come and vent. I don't expect very many people to watch this, so But if you do and you have an opinion, that would be appreciated, because this is a confusing time. I will seek counsel. I'm seeking counsel via YouTube, via my friends, via strangers. Do I stay in LA and be a happy, healthy man and start over and start looking for new work and new friends? Or do I go back to New York and tap back in with my old connections and, go back to that? Decisions, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on here just riffing, by the way. I'm riffing because I'm practicing my speaking skills. I've been wanting to work on my skills as a speaker for a while now. So I'm here just trying to articulate my thoughts. All right. This has run a little longer than I thought. So here we are, signing off. Thank you for watching.